They say we all learn from our mistakes, and that's true, but sometimes we can also learn a lot from the mistakes of others. So today I will show you the most common mistakes I find when analyzing resumes. My name is Caio Sampaio and I am a career expert and certified professional resume writer, and I will share my expertise by letting you know the most common resume mistakes to avoid. But before we get to the juicy mistakes people make, let me get some honorable mentions out of the way since they require little explanation. First of all, a resume should be no longer than 2 pages. I see a lot of people trying to impress recruiters by turning their job applications into PhD dissertations. Don't do that. Recruiters are busy and will most likely throw your resume straight into the trash can if it's too long. And a good way to ensure your resume will not be too long is by only including in it relevant experience, degrees, and skills. To determine what is relevant, just check the job ad and see what the recruiter wants in an ideal candidate. Leave out of your resume anything that does not reflect that. And also avoid typos at all costs. They look lazy and can get you disqualified. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's jump straight into some resume mistakes to avoid that require some more explanation. Number 1, photos. Photos can be really problematic. Look, I understand that you want to help persuade recruiters with a professional looking picture and a bright smile, but recruiters are not interested in that. They want to evaluate candidates as objectively as possible, and a picture can get in the way of that, so they prefer resumes without photos. In fact, some companies might even reject resumes with pictures to avoid any type of discrimination. If you have an amazing picture that you want to share with the world, do it using your LinkedIn profile, not your resume. And you should also avoid using an unprofessional email. Maybe you created your email accounts when you were a teenager, so you created something like this: awesomegamer@email.com. Maybe your high school friends were impressed, but the recruiter certainly won't be. The best thing you can do is this. You see, simply use your name and your last name. It's simple, easy to remember, and professional. Now let's go to the next resume mistake you should avoid: a generic summary. Look, the resume summary is a paragraph at the start of your resume, and it's your golden opportunity to get the recruiter excited to read the rest of your application. So don't waste it by writing something generic like this: excellent marketing professional looking to learn and bring value to my team. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong in wanting to learn and bring value to your team. These are good things, in fact. But the problem is that this is what 99% of candidates say. And with so much competition for a job these days, if you don't stand out, you get disqualified. So avoid writing something generic. Instead, write something that will get recruiters thinking you are the superhero who will solve their problems. So you can write something like this: engaging and patient customer service professional with 12 plus years of experience responding to all types of customers' inquiries. Eager to join XCOM to grow customer loyalty and maintain the highest level of customer service. In previous roles, maintained a customer retention rate 45% above the company average and received 99% positive customer survey results. Impressive, right? And this resume summary was written with the Zeti Resume Builder, which is what you can see on your screen right now. It gives you many suggestions of resume summaries based on your career. Just search for your professional title and you'll get many suggestions that you can tweak to suit your needs. The link for you to try the Zeti Resume Builder will be in the description of this video. And now let's talk about the next of the common resume mistakes to avoid, which is trying to turn your resume into a story of sorts. This example you're seeing comes from the experience section of a candidate, and when she tried to describe her responsibilities, she wrote a paragraph. I was a kindergarten teacher at this school where I was responsible for, and, well, you get the idea, no need to read everything. But the problem here is that this approach makes your resume more difficult to read. After all, recruiters usually read resumes by scanning them with their eyes, just searching for some interesting information that stands out to them. So your best bet is to organize your resume in a way that will help them as much as possible to find interesting information. So you should organize your resume like this. You see, that looks better, doesn't it? Using bullet points, it's a lot easier for recruiters to find the information they want, and they will certainly appreciate that. And while writing your bullet points, it's always good to avoid focusing too much on responsibilities. Write accomplishments instead. After all, you're not only trying to prove that you're qualified, you're also trying to prove that you are the most qualified of the candidates. So write some accomplishments that will help you stand out. And if you want to see a more detailed analysis of the most common mistakes made on a resume, you can read our full article on the topic written by a certified professional resume writer. The link will be in the description of this video. And with that said, let's get back to the last example I showed you. Do you notice something interesting here? You can pause the video for a moment and try to figure it out. But I'll spill the beans right now. It's all about pronouns, more specifically their absence. Pay attention to the bullet points here. The first one, for example, says managed a diverse portfolio instead of I managed a diverse portfolio. And the reason is simple. The recruiter already knows that the resume is talking about you, so saying I or my is redundant and takes up space, which can be critical if you're struggling to make your resume fit into 2 pages. Now, point number 6, mediocre education. Some people think they need to include their GPA in their resume, leading to something like this. They include low GPAs, which doesn't look good, so it's best to avoid that when crafting a resume that is supposed to put you under good light. If your GPA isn't stellar, only include it if the job ad asks you for it for some reason. But even if your GPA is not the best, don't worry. Contrary to what many people will tell you, your education is more than just a number. You can still make your resume education section shine by doing this. Instead of listing your GPA, you can list your relevant coursework and share some accomplishments as well. And now that looks better, doesn't it? You can see the difference right there. And the recruiter certainly will see the difference as well. And the last mistake we're going to discuss is bad formatting. After all, your resume needs to be as easy as possible to read, but a lot of people end up creating a mess simply because they don't know much about design, let alone how to use Microsoft Word to create an eye-catching document. So they cannot create something like this. It's eye-catching, organized, and elegant. This is what you should aim for, but what if you're not a designer? Well, have no fear, the Zeti Resume Builder is here. It's a tool that lets you easily design your perfect resume. Choose a resume template and tweak it to your needs by changing the colors, fonts, and more. The best of all is that the results will always be ATS friendly. Then the Zeti Resume Builder will walk you through the resume writing process, giving you tips and suggestions tailored to your profession, letting you write your resume in just a few minutes. So be sure to give the Zeti Resume Builder a try. The link will be in the description of this video. And speaking of video, did you find it useful? If you did, be sure to drop a like and to subscribe to the Zeti YouTube channel for more videos like this. My name is Caio Sampaio and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. Take care.